Back at another YouTube video. It's your boy Uriah G. Today we're gonna react to 10 stupidest ways wrestlers lost matches. Let's get right into the video. We have an ad.
If a wrestler has to lose a match, I'm sure their preference is to do so in a way that enables them to leave the ring with their head held high. Beaten by the better person after a hard-fought contest, gave it everything they had but came up just short. Would have had the match won had it not been for their dastardly opponent cheating in some form or fashion. All infinitely more acceptable than this absolute shower of poorly booked piss that made the losers look like total and utter fools. I'm Adam Pachisi from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are the 10 stupidest ways wrestlers lost matches. Join us.
But first, just want to say a big cheers to Sailor. Sailor is the instant or destined scam that helps to confidently protect the price store. To get prescription
Claw. If you were to rank the toughest guys in pro wrestling history, and we should, I'm fairly confident that Mick Foley would place right near the top. Mrs. Foley's baby boy wasn't a tough guy in the sense that he was a legit fighter, of course, but few, if any, could take the amount of abuse that his body endured and keep getting up. So, when Foley, as Mankind, met an actual legit tough guy in the form of Intercontinental Champion Ken Shamrock at Judgment Day 1998, it was a very interesting proposition indeed. The world's most dangerous man took it to his masochistic opponent and vice versa in what was a very good and competitive.
Yo, I don't know too much of his work, but Ken Shamrock, he definitely is underrated. Like, I know he was in some other brand besides wrestling. I think he was in boxing or MMA or some martial arts or some. It wasn't martial arts. I think it was like MMA or boxing or something.
Match. Eventually, Shamrock had Mankind trapped in his trusty ankle lock, putting the
Or I think it was kickboxing, either or.
challenger on the verge of submitting. But Mankind doesn't submit, does he? Of course not. What he does, or at least what he did here, is put himself in his own mandible claw hold, enabling him to pass out without having to tap out. Look, it's inventive and kinda cute, I guess, but Mankind literally made it so that he lost the match and thus the chance to become IC champ. Number 9. Big
auto insurance.
Alright, we got another advertisement. It's cool though.
Bastard. In theory, it should be quite hard to beat the Big Show. He's 7 foot tall and weighs 500 pounds after all. The world's largest athlete, you might say. Despite his imposing stature, Show lost his fair share of WWE matches via pin, submission, countout, DQ, and everything else. On one occasion, though, he lost it due to being a big, clumsy oaf of a man. Show was defending his Intercontinental title against Cody.
Is this the match where he stepped into the table? Oh my, yo. I'm not even gonna say the rest of it, because I pray every day. I don't like swearing, but man, there's no way, man. Is this the match? Let's just continue.
Rhodes in a table match at Extreme Rules 2012 and had the American Nightmare retreating for much of the contest. Cody took a break from backpedaling to catch Show with a dropkick as the Giant was stepping over the top rope to get back into the ring from the apron. Unfortunately for Show, his momentum took him backwards and he ended up stepping onto and breaking a table. And just like that, he had lost the match and his gold. Again, it's a clever finish in its own way and was certainly memorable, but it did make Show, who actually came up with the spot, look a bit of a prat. Oh, and then he looked like a sore loser, putting Rhodes through 2 tables after his own blunder had cost him. Number 8. Big Liar. One of the 3 so-called main events on offer at Starrcade 1999 was a powerbomb match between Kevin Nash and Sid Vicious. 2 big stars, literally and figuratively.
A powerbomb match? I've never heard of that. Y'all comment down what's y'all favorite match type. My favorite is probably Falls Count Anywhere, Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber. I'm just naming some. Ambulance match. If I could see all the matches on piece of paper, I'll just throw them all out. Y'all can name some if y'all want to.
competing in a bout where the winner would be the man who hits his powerbomb finisher on his opponent first. Easy enough, right? Not so fast, bro! Let's Russo this up a little, shall we? Not only did the match feature Big Sexy going for the pin when the only way to win was by hitting a powerbomb, but the match was overbooked 6 ways from Sunday with run-ins, weapon shots, and a ref bump. But you see, the ref had to be bumped in order for WCW to present the dumbest possible finish to this wretched match. With the ref down and Nash unable to hit the jackknife due to a bad back, psychology, he just picked up the official who had been selling for about 2 minutes and told him that he had powerbombed Sid. And then the referee believed him. So Sid lost the match because Nash told a bare-faced lie and the ref just took his word for it. Why? Because WCW, that's why. Number 7, Royal Fumble. Everybody knows the rules of the Royal Rumble match, yeah? I mean, they spend what seems like an eternity explaining them via video packages, the commentary team, and even the ring announcer before the match starts. So there can be no excuse for a WWE star not knowing that they are eliminated when they are thrown over the top rope and both feet touch the floor. Randy Savage clearly wasn't paying attention because not only did he almost eliminate himself from the 92 Rumble by launching himself over the top rope, which WWE ignored so as not to screw up the rest of the match, but he also made a critical error the following year. The Macho Man and Yokozuna were the final 2 in the 93 Rumble when Randy hit his patent.
I think I've seen this spot. Okay, so he jumps off for the diving elbow, and then he's like, I think he like, it looks like he's pinning him, and then Yokozuna just throws him in the air and then tosses him out, and then like he sells it and flips over.
Top rope flying elbow. Rather than say wait for a worn down Yoko to get to his feet using the ropes where he could then in theory attempt to bundle him out, Savage instead went for a pin in a Royal Rumble match. Not only that, he did so right next to the ropes, allowing Yokozuna to do a ridiculous super-powered kick-out that sent Randy sailing over the top and costing him the match and a WrestleMania title shot. Idiot. Number 6, head and shoulders below the rest. The 1998 King of the Ring pay-per-view was promoted with the tagline, "Off with their heads," no doubt in reference to historical times when actual kings would have their enemies decapitated via guillotine. Good times. At the pay-per-view, however, Al Snow was not only accompanied by his trusty head, the lunatic was actually tagging with it. Snow and his head were competing against the recently formed duo of Too Much in a match where Al, supposedly wrestling after returning from ECW without a contract, was looking to secure a meeting with Mr. McMahon. After a quite frankly tedious bout that sucked the air out of the building, Snow looked to have the win sewn up when Jerry Lawler, acting as the special guest referee, threw his son Brian Christopher a bottle of shampoo. The future Grandmaster Sexay then attached the bottle of Head and Shoulders to head and covered it for the win. See, it's clever, right? Because ordinarily they couldn't beat the mannequin head due to it not having any shoulders to count down, but they used a shampoo bottle to get the job done. Satire, I believe it's called. Stupid, I know it is. Number 5.
Steve, you always buy books.
Another ad. Yeah, so pretty much, you know, I don't have the mute. I leave it on mute pretty much because I don't want to hear no ad, right? I'm trying to talk, but
Iceman Botcheth. Over the course of his distinguished career, Dean Malenko gained a reputation as one of the best technical wrestlers in the business, his high wrestling IQ praised by contemporaries the world over. He may have been a genius when it came to knowing what to do between the ropes, but Malenko, like pretty much everybody else, had mentally given up as WCW entered the new millennium. At Sold Out 2000, the Man of 1,000 Holds was booked against Billy Kidman in the pay-per-view's so-called Catch-as Catch-Can opener. The rules of the match stipulated that if a competitor's feet touched the floor, they lost. You might want to remember that. Dean, mate, I'm talking to you. Remember that. After a couple of minutes worth of decent action, Malenko took a powder to regroup, got back in the ring, and was confused to hear the bell signal the end of the match. Much to the Iceman's annoyance, he had lost the match by accident because he had forgotten the rules because WCW. Anyway, this was Dean's last ever WCW match as he quit the company along with the rest of the Radicals the very next night.
Oh, he was part of the Radicals, that team that keeps that stable in the early 2000s, I guess, WWF. Was it with Eddie Guerrero? He was partnered with somebody. It was like 4 people.
Can't imagine why. Number 4, Tangled Up in Blue. Occasionally, WWE will book a banana peel finish where a wrestler essentially loses due to some unforeseen accident or mistake. This is supposed to give them an out so they can justifiably claim after the fact that they didn't really lose at all. In theory, this is done to protect the WWE star, but in execution, it often makes them look a right silly bollocks. Just ask AJ Styles, who challenged Kevin Owens for the United States Championship at Backlash 2017. The two former indie standouts were having a darn good match, even if it had taken a while to get going, when they found themselves scrapping around ringside. The Phenomenal One went to hit KO with a Styles Clash through the announce table when...
See Byron Saxton right there? Look at him over there. He's like this. Let me stop.
Inside. The Phenomenal One went to hit KO with a Styles Clash through the announce table when Owens managed to get out of it, and AJ somehow ended up falling through the hole where a monitor had been and got his foot tangled up in a
this was that spot. Dang.
bunch of wires. Styles could only look on helplessly while hanging upside down as the champ retained his title via countout and AJ rued the day.
Wait, this was the finish of this match? His leg was stuck and he won by countout.
He forgot to pack his emergency pair of scissors. Number 3, an act of God, aka the Booker. Throughout his epic WWE Universal title run, Roman Reigns relied on just about everything to ensure that he walked away from his once-in-a-blue-moon title defenses as champ. And that included acts of God. At Extreme Rules 2021, the Tribal Chief put his title on the line against the very first Universal Champion, Finn Balor, in an Extreme Rules match. And boy did Balor mean business, entering in his demon guise for the big occasion. It was a grand match, and the two men really put on a show while making the most of the Extreme Rules stipulation with kendo sticks, tables, and brawling through the crowd. Finn looked set to overcome the odds, disposing of the Usos and...
I know you guys missed the Demon Finn Balor gimmick. You know, Finn Balor used to be my favorite wrestler at one point. Y'all know CM Punk is like my favorite, but y'all know I like all wrestlers in their own way. This is not like the music industry where I can like different artists and different genres. Nah. just like female wrestlers, I like them all in their own way, but I have favorites, but it's definitely not like how rappers, singers and all that are. I have my favorite of those easily.
Putting Roman through a table while being accompanied by spooky lighting and his own music playing over the PA before heading up top for the coup de grace. That's when the big man, Vince McMahon I guess, decided to have Balor fall flat on his face as the top rope mysteriously snapped, leaving him prone to the spear. Hey, maybe if you hadn't been standing on the top rope for about 13 seconds waiting for something to happen, this might not have happened, Mr. Demon. Number 2, blowing up in his face. Poor Bray Wyatt was involved in some of the dumbest finishes in WWE history, from the demonic
Bray
child
Wyatt.
singing to John Cena.
Rest in peace, man. Bray Wyatt.
Extreme Rules 2014 to the Fiend's Hell in a Cell match with Seth Rollins ending via goddamn ref stoppage. One of the finishes that made Wyatt's opponent look like a total fool occurred in the main event of TLC 2014 when he took on Dean Ambrose in a tables, ladders and chairs match. Ah yes, a tables, ladders and chairs match. Plenty of plunder for the Eater of Worlds and Lunatic Fringe to play with, right? Not quite enough apparently, as they also brought a kendo stick into play and Ambrose tried to use another inanimate object to put Bray away. Tried being the operative word, because after what had actually been a thoroughly entertaining stunt show, Dean brought a TV monitor into the ring and attempted to hit Wyatt with it. However, he completely misjudged the length of the cord, and then it literally blew up in his face. One Sister Abigail later, and there was no question that Dean Ambrose is a buffoon. Number 1, Puppy's Power. By the time the May 10th, 1999 episode of Monday Night Raw rolled around, Sable was mentally done and wanted out of the business. Unfortunately for WWE, Sable was then in possession of the Women's Championship belt, and she made clear to management she was not willing to drop the title in a standard match because she didn't want to take any bumps. This left the company in a bit of a bind, but thankfully they managed to get themselves out of it in the stupidest way possible. The champ had agreed to lose the championship on the May 10th Raw in an evening gown match on the condition that she herself didn't have to shed her clothes. Okay then. And so it was left to Deborah to get stripped of her gown, only for WWE Commissioner Shawn Michaels, who had been watching things unfold from the commentator's desk, to step in and declare that in his opinion it should be the woman who lost her clothes and had the more impressive puppies who wins the match.
I don't know, that match, I don't know, that doesn't sound really it just doesn't sound like an interesting match. Puppies with the match, Shawn Michaels, that's probably the best part of that match, like as far as him just being involved. But the puppies, I don't know, man. That was it's cool though. That was 10 stupidest ways wrestlers lost matches. Tell me what you guys want to say next in the comments down below. Subscribe, like, comment. I got more videos coming. Stay tuned. And yeah, Uriah out.